Hello everybody. Got a video here on how to clean your window air conditioners without actually removing them out of the window, or if you have them through the wall like some people do. Not very often, they're usually in your window. But I did a video before on how to clean them when they're out of your window, so I figured I'd go ahead and make an updated version here on how to clean them inside your house with them still in the window there. If you're in an apartment and have one or something, no water hoses or anything, it kind of makes it rough, so this might help a little bit for you. On this here one, they're not all going to be the same, but they're going to be close to the same situations. You got a screw on this side. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it went over on this here side, and there's one on the other side that you got to take out, and that's a Phillips screwdriver that you got to have. And this front will just pop one off in. Sometimes you got to wiggle them around a little bit there. You got this filter that's in them. Pop that out. You can take and run this under the water in the sink or whatever. Spray it with some kind of cleaner like Dawn dish soap and some water mixed together, or even soak it in it. And you have the grill part here, and I would do the same thing with that. Put it in your sink or whatever and kind of scrub it. Spray it off with the hose in the sink if you have one, because it's kind of hard to get in between all these hair parts without something to spray it with like that. Once you get it apart here, you got the radiator part here, and you got all this here buildup that's in it, and all that will affect the flow of the air going through there, so it's not going to cool your house as good. And at times you'll start getting mildew and mold in them, and you'll want to wipe down the insides here as best you can. You could use some water with a little bit of bleach or Clorox and spray up in here and wipe it down. You'll want to also try not to spray the bleach on these, because bleach is corrosive and it's kind of hard on metal. So, and after you do it up here, kind of rinse it off with a spray bottle and a little bit of water. On the front here, on this here part, you can get some foaming cleaner or something like this for air conditioners. This was like $6 off of Amazon, and I'll put a link down below for it if you want to try it. Comes with a little brush on the end of the cap, which makes it handy. You can also use like a toothbrush or whatever if you have it. And if you don't get this, mix you up some Dawn dish soap and spray water. Spray it really good, let it soak, and take your toothbrush or whatever and kind of like clean it out a little. On this here, I'm just going to take and try to get some of the dust out of it before we spray it with this foaming cleaner. If you have a vacuum with a small attachment with a brush on that, that would work pretty good too. Or if you have a shop vac, would be even better. It's like the cleaner you get it, the better the air will flow through it, and the better it'll cool your house or apartment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button and comment down below. I don't know if you can tell it or not, but it makes a big difference already up here above where I've done that. I want to turn another light on here, maybe it'll help see that a little better. But I think you can see it there in the video from what I can see on my camera, how it's a little shinier up here. On this here part is a little tube. It tells kind of like the temp, feeds back to the temperature on it to tell it when it to kick on and off depending on where you have it set. Pretty much like your thermostat on your wall, it's just a different setup here. You could move this out of your way if you wanted to, because these just slide in between the fins, but I'm going to try not to mess with it, because most people, when they're doing it, they're not going to want to be on hooking stuff and moving it around. I know I wouldn't anyway. You'll get a bunch of dirt down in here too. If you got the little small attachment on your sweeper or whatever, you could take and suck some of that up out of there. Now on this here, if you're in your apartment, you may want to put something down below to catch this if it drips down. Maybe old towels or whatever. Shake this up really good, and it says you don't have to wrench it off, but you can. So if you're got this situation where you're not taking it out and doing it outside, maybe take a little spray bottle with some water in it and just spray on it and wrench it down a little bit. And as you can see, I've got it all over my hands. So it is kind of messy. That's why I said have something down below that'll catch it so it don't get all over your floor. I'm not sure if it would hurt your carpet or not. Probably not, but no sense in taking a chance on it. And while we got that soaking there and cleaning, I'm going to take some of the Super Clean foaming cleaner. It's a degreaser and stuff. Dissolves grease super easy, super fast, and it's good for removing dirt and all that too. So I want to use that up above. This is like one of my favorite cleaners. And just take and wipe that down good. And you do have a little fan that's inside here. If it's real bad, you could take it and spin it around and wipe it off some as you're spinning it. A lot of people would say you probably need gloves on, but I hardly ever use gloves for anything. I don't even like wearing them in the wintertime, so if you prefer them, wear them, all depending on what you're using. As you can see, that's a lot cleaner just going over it one time. And that's my rag after I got done, just on the inside part there. Okay, on this here, it's cleaning it some there. I'm going to spray it one more time. And while that's cleaning again there, we'll go ahead and wipe the foam part down just a little bit. I'll spray some on the rag here of the degreaser. You also can use this on the outside of it, or like I said, use some other cleaners like the Dawn dish soap and water does really good. I'm going to go back over it with this here little brush. As you can see, I'm getting quite a bit of dirt off of it just on the cap itself. Now I'll take a rag around the outside part of it. Be careful when you're going over these because they will bend, and if they get bent up, that restricts the flow of the air too. So if you can, do all your wiping in a downward motion as the way they're running. That way you don't mess them up. And it looks like I'm probably going to have to remove this, and these just kind of like pull out of there, so it's no big deal. And you can kind of bend it back out of your way. As you can see, there's a lot of dirt right through here. This here in no way really replaces taking it out and cleaning it thoroughly and taking it apart. If you do end up bending those, there is a fin straightener that you can get to straighten them out, and I will show you here on that. They look like this here, and I will put a link to these also. That way you can check them out if you need them. You can use them to straighten your fins out. And this here just slides back in, and there's a tube that runs in there. It'll just snap back onto it. Sometimes they can be a pain in the butt to get back in the same spot. But there's that part of it. And on this here, like I said, if you can clean out in your sink or somewhere, it'd be a lot easier taking your spray hose after you let it soak in some water or spray some cleaner on it. So this here, I'm not going to be able to do much besides wipe down the outside of it. So I'm going to bypass that part. And on your filter, you can just take your spray nozzle or run it under your faucet and clean all of it off. Or if you even wanted to, take your bleach water a little bit, spray it, rinse it back off. And that just snaps on, and you put your screw back in each side, or some of them will have 4 screws. Take and put those back in, and some of them don't even have screws. The front just snaps on, and it has little spots where it grabs a hold. I'll go ahead and put the screws back in this so I don't lose them. Trying not to get in the way of the camera here. Okay, after you do that, you could take and wipe down the outside of it, get it cleaned up some, and you go to the outside of your air conditioner. And the back of this one ain't that bad, but you could go ahead and spray it And here's some of the spots like I was talking about where the fins get bent. And you can take a straightener sometimes and straighten them out. This bottom part here is bent pretty bad, and that's kind of hard to fix. But there's a lot of spots that you can take and actually get it. On the outside, you take your cleaner, spray over the top of it, wipe it off. And you take your foam and do the same thing as we did on the front. Take your little brush or your toothbrush, go over it. We'll go ahead and spray this one even though it ain't that dirty. This here spray helps bring the dirt that it loosens up and all that kind of like to the front of it, to the surface. That way you can kind of brush it off and wipe it off. And on the outside here, people's going to say you shouldn't spray the inside here with water. It's not going to hurt it. These are made to be outdoors, the outside part. The motor's sealed in there, so it's not going to hurt anything. You could take your water hose and kind of spray down in there some and rinse it out. Same on this here, you could spray it. Don't spray a direct hard spray on the outside, kind of do it more of like a mist on it and let it rinse it off some, because the water will even bend these and you don't want to do that. So just take your water and with a low pressure kind of rinse it off good. You could also take your little brush and go over it again and clean it up. We're just going to leave this here kind of go, and I'm going to wipe it off here some. This stuff also works good on wiping the outside off if you wanted to just use it to spray the outside of it and clean it off. But after this here gets done, take and rinse it off a little bit and you should be good to go. Plug it back in and stay cool. So pretty much this is easy and how you could do it if it's inside, and I would recommend them doing them at least once yearly if you can, because these do get a lot of moisture and dirt in them and they will grow mold, and that's bad for allergies, asthma, and all that stuff. So don't forget to like my videos, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and have a great day everybody. And thanks for supporting my channel. Bye.